My name is Kwame Boa and you are listening to Ashan TV. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and also click on the bell so each time I drop a content, you'll be the first to hear it. Ashan is sponsored by DJ Wire Services, also Kutam, and also Soli Fakis. Well, today, my topic is foreigners taking advantage of Africa, basically. Foreigners coming into Africa, taking advantage of Africa. And also the danger of Africa allowing so many foreigners to come into the continent and then settle. The danger in it is what I want to talk to you about. Most of the Western nations or all the Western nations have or maybe have set a number of Africans that can actually come into the country. It's the same like China. China has actually also set up the number of Africans that can actually enter into the country. You know, the same like all over the world for one particular reason, because they do not want you to come and overshadow them. So they will always make sure that you, when you come into the country, you become the minority, not the majority, because there's a danger of you coming to their country and become the majority, because when you become the majority, it's easy for you to overshadow them. And Africa is supposed to also to bear that in mind, because Africa allowing a lot of foreigners to actually settle. There's nothing wrong with foreigners coming into the country. But of course, when they come to the country, there must be a limited foreigners that should actually come into the country, and it must be tracked. It hasn't, we don't have to just leave it open like that, because there'll be a time if we allow so many foreigners to come into the country, especially China, it's taking over Africa right now as we see it. There'll be a time Chinese would enslave us in our own country. Coming into the country, that there's advantage and disadvantage of foreigners coming into the country, especially with Africans, we traveling to Europe and China, because the manual jobs, the local jobs, the jobs that the people don't do, that's why they allowed us to come in so we can actually take care of those aspect of things, because some of their own people do not want to do a certain kind of job. So that's why they allowed us in. But we're African now. The foreigners come into the country and then somehow create businesses, create employment for our own people. And there's nothing wrong with them coming to create employment for your own people, but when they intend to abuse the people in the process, then that should ring the bell that if we allow them to grow more, to grow bigger in the country, they will definitely overshadow us and they will enslave us in our own country. But before I go ahead and actually talk about my actual topic, let me just read a few articles about how many Chinese are living in Africa right now and the danger of those things. Okay, 400,000 Chinese live in South Africa right now. 400,000, over 400,000, let me put it like that, living in South Africa right now. And when the Chinese are living in South Africa, what they intend to do is they're creating businesses, they're creating other stuff. But then again, on the other side, they're taking a lot from the people. Not only that, so 400,000, by the next 30 years, they're going to be more. And then the more they are, the more they overshadow Africa. So of course, in South Africa, 400,000, 100,000 in Madagascar, 100,000 Chinese people living in Madagascar. I'll probably say there's nothing wrong with other people living in another country, but especially when they come to your country and you smell a sense of abuse, that you're gonna have to you have to make sure you take cautions or you take precautions, because if not, it's going to be worse. 74,000 living in Sudan, 60,000 living in Ethiopia, 50,000 Angola, 50,000 Kenya, 50,000 in Nigeria, 50,000 in Uganda, and of course, 130,000 in Namibia, 30,000 in Tanzania, and 25,000 in Republic of Ghana. All right. So we see the amount of Chinese people living in Africa at this particular moment. But the question is, what are their intentions of moving from China into Africa? Because we understand that China is overpopulated. You know, um, even though they have advanced in technology, in other stuff, but they are overpopulated. So what they're actually trying to do is they're trying to move their people all the way to Africa. So there'll be a time Africa will be the next China. That is what is actually happening right now. As I'm talking to you, you might not take this serious, but in 10 years to come, in 20 years to come, we'll realize that the population of China in Africa would increase even more to the point where they will overshadow Africa. And then now they would use you as a slave in your own country. So it's about time we have to open our eyes. So when I say foreigners taking advantage of Africa, this is what I mean. In Kenya, Nairobi, a Chinese employer has actually, beaten and stripping his own employee because he came to work late. Can you imagine? A Chinese man coming to Africa to open up a business and employ an African man and starting to beat the African man because the African man came to work late. He probably came to work late, could be so many reasons. It could be maybe the car, there's traffic in the road. It could be maybe he had issues in the house before. So the best thing to do in this instant is to reduce his wages, but not to beat him. So the question is, can an African man go to China and then beat a Chinese man in Africa because the Chinese man is coming to work late? That shows how disrespect. That shows how they don't respect Africa. And that is why we have to take precautions that we don't allow so many numbers of them coming in there. We also hear stories about Chinese illegal mining in Ghana. They're destroying the land all because they want the gold. Do you understand? They have no concern. They don't care about you as a people. I read an article what the Chinese people really think about Africa, which the next video I probably will talk about that what Chinese people really think about Africa. Then, of course, that would also wake us up. So I'm not saying this here to also to go and retaliate to the next Chinese person in Africa. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm only saying this to create an awareness of what is actually happening on the ground. There's a video that is actually showing on the side there. The gentleman came to work late and then he was being whipped. He was being whipped by the Chinese boss because he came to work late. So if we allow these people to grow or outnumbers us, then of course we are in for a big trouble. So now let's just watch this video and then see what I'm actually talking about. I want you to listen.
Faster, no beat, then no beat. Okay? Hit once. No beat.
So this is it. The worker came to work late. He's been whipped because he came to work late. Thank God they have been arrested for the actions that they took. But at the end of the day, it shows how they don't respect us. It shows how they don't respect us, even though they have been arrested. Who gave him the right to beat an African person in his own country? Who gave him that right to do that, to even to beat an employer? You are not allowed to do that. But of course, it's happening in our own country right before our own eyes, and we see it. We see it, but we do nothing about it because Africans, we lack respect. We lack self-respect. They have a saying that if you go to Rome, do what Romans do. So the Chinese people are doing exactly what they see us do in our own country. They come to the country and they see how vulnerable we are, and they come in the name of trying to help us, but they have different agendas. They have different agendas to actually enslave us. in our own country. So there's also another instant, another video that I'm actually going to show you with another foreigner taking advantage of Africa. This foreigner came to Africa and then decided to build a project in the middle of the road. Right? So that's it right there. This man came to Ghana and then decided to build a project in the middle of the road. Who does that? It's something that an African man can never think about doing in a million years in another man's land. Go, for example, coming to UK or going to Germany or going to even China itself. Would you see, can an African decide to build his own house in China and build it in the middle of the road? Or go to Turkey, for example, and build the project in the middle of the road? That can never happen. The reason why it can never happen is the system is set in such a way where you cannot even think about doing it. But Africa is also set in a way where we've left ourselves vulnerable. We have actually been vulnerable where foreigners are taking advantage of us. So this instant is when the man started building in the middle of the road or somewhere close to the road where it is actually going to obstruct so many development that we're trying to do. And because this foreigner don't respect the country, that is why he did what he did. But lucky, he was caught by one of the leaders in Ghana, and I think he put his foot down on this instant, on this particular issue. He put his foot down that no, this thing will not happen. You can never come to my country and disrespect my country like that. If you're coming to my country, then you have to obey the laws in my country. But if you come to my country and you're disrespecting my laws in my country, then of course something action must be taken. So this man was furious, angry. I want us to just watch the video and then you see, you can tell me what you think. Right. Okay.
Madness. It's madness. The owner of this property is not bigger than this country. The owner of this property is not bigger than this country. Even the president of the republic, with all the executive powers in his hands, can't do this and won't do this. What kind of indiscipline is this? And we sit in this country and allow this nonsense to go on with impudence. You enter into the road corridor, creating inconveniences to all those who use this stretch of the road. You have destroyed the road, and you think you have the power to do that? You should be arrested and prosecuted. Is national security here? This man must be picked. Please pick him. Madness. It's madness. The owner of this property is not bigger than this country. The owner of this property is not bigger.
Right. So friends, you see what happened. You know, this gentleman is building in the middle of the road. I don't know who gave him the permission to do that. He just began to build in the middle of the road because he has no respect for the country in which we're living in. So that is why African has to wake up. That is why we have to wake up. Not waking up, not to fight these people, but waking up within ourselves and have self-respect, have self-dignity, and start implementing things properly in our country. And of course, tighten the laws of the country in favor of the people of the land. It's like that everywhere. You know, you come to England, the law favors the people of the land. You go to China, the law favors the people of the land. You go to Africa, the law favors nothing. It favors even foreigners more. So this is why I am saying that we have to be very careful. We have to be aware of what is really going on. This is why we need to put our environment into our education system. This is why Africa must start learning about the foreigners and, of course, and their intentions for the country in our education. This is why we have to really sit down and wake up. Look, the land belongs to the whole world, belongs to every single body. Everybody can actually decide to live in anywhere they want, as long as you have the right papers to live in there, as long as you obey the rules and the regulations you can. So now I've said about three things now. The population of foreigners in Ghana, especially China, growing in Ghana and Africa, in the long run will not help Ghana. In the long run will affect us big time because we become slaves to them. Right now, it's actually happening. As you can see, that a guy is being whipped in his own country for coming to work late by a Chinese man. So they have no respect for us. Friends and family, tell me what you think about this video. Share your comment on this video. And then until next time, I'll bring up another content. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also do not forget to click on the notification bell. My name is Kwame Yokwa.